Hey there, America. And it's time to talk about something that has gonna shake up our world in ways we can't even imagine. We're talking about the end of work as we know it. Yeah, you heard that right. By 2040, the jobs landscape could look totally different, and it's all thanks to AI and robotics. Now, I know what you're thinking, but wait, haven't we heard this before? Sure, we've been hearing about machines taking our jobs for decades, but this time, it's different. We're not just talking about assembly line robots or self-checkout kiosks. We're talking about smart machines that can think, learn, and adapt. And they're coming for jobs we never thought could be automated. Picture this. You walk into a restaurant, and instead of a human waiter, you're greeted by a sleek robot that takes your order, brings your food, and even cracks a joke or two. Sound far-fetched? Well, it's already happening in some places. And it's not just the service industry that's getting a makeover. White-collar jobs aren't safe either. Imagine AI lawyers arguing cases in court, or robot surgeons performing delicate operations. It's not science fiction anymore, folks. It's the future we're hurtling towards at breakneck speed. But here's the million-dollar question. What happens to all the people whose jobs get taken over by machines? Are we looking at a future with massive unemployment? Or could this be the beginning of a new era, where humans are freed from the daily grind? That's where the idea of universal basic income comes in. Now, I know some of you might be rolling your eyes, thinking it sounds like some crazy socialist scheme, but hear me out. As more and more jobs get automated, we're gonna need a way to keep people afloat. And UBI could be the lifeline we need. Imagine a world where everyone gets a basic income, regardless of whether they work or not. It sounds wild, right? But it could be the solution to the massive job losses we're facing. With a guaranteed income, people could pursue education, start businesses, or focus on creative pursuits without worrying about putting food on the table. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, but won't that make people lazy? Won't everyone just sit around all day watching TV? Well, that's not what the research shows. In fact, studies on UBI have found that people don't suddenly stop working. Instead, they often use the security of a basic income to take risks, like starting a business or going back to school. But let's be real for a second. Implementing UBI would be a massive undertaking. We're talking about a complete overhaul of our economic system. It would require some serious political will and a whole lot of public support. And let's face it, change isn't always easy, especially when it comes to something as fundamental as how we work and earn a living. So, what does all this mean for you and me? Well, for starters, we need to start preparing for a future where traditional jobs might not be as plentiful. That means focusing on skills that are hard to automate, things like creativity, emotional intelligence, and complex problem solving. It also means being open to the idea of lifelong learning, because the jobs of the future might look nothing like the jobs of today. But it's not all doom and gloom, folks. This automation revolution could lead to some pretty amazing things. Imagine a world where dangerous or tedious jobs are done by robots, freeing up humans to focus on more fulfilling work. Or a society where everyone has their basic needs met, allowing people to pursue their passions without the constant stress of making ends meet. Of course, getting there won't be easy. We're gonna face some serious challenges along the way. There will be job losses, economic disruption, and probably a fair bit of social upheaval. But that's where we come in. It's up to us to shape this future, to make sure that as we move towards a more automated world, we don't leave anyone behind. So, what can we do? For starters, we need to start having serious conversations about the future of work. We need to push our politicians to start planning for these changes now, not when it's too late. And we need to be open to new ideas, even if they seem radical at first. Maybe that means supporting pilot programs for universal basic income, or advocating for education reforms that focus on the skills we'll need in an automated future, or even just staying informed about the latest developments in AI and robotics, so we can understand how they might impact our lives and livelihoods. And let's not forget about the ethical implications of all this. As we hand over more and more tasks to machines, we need to think carefully about the kind of society we want to create. Do we want a world where efficiency is valued above all else? Or do we want to preserve the human touch in certain areas, even if it's not the most cost-effective option? These are big questions, and there are no easy answers. But that's what makes this such an exciting time to be alive. We're on the cusp of a major transformation, and we have the opportunity to shape it. So, America, are you ready for the end of work as we know it? Are you ready to embrace a future where robots and AI are our coworkers, and maybe even our bosses? It's gonna be a wild ride, but if we play our cards right, it could lead to a future that's brighter than anything we've seen before. Remember, change is coming whether we like it or not. The question is, are we gonna let it happen to us, or are we gonna take charge and make it work for us? The choice is ours, folks, so let's roll up our sleeves and get to work, while we still can.